At long last, QPR won their second championship match of the season with Žan Celar's first 2 goals for the club against Cardiff City on Wednesday night, ending a run of 12 matches without a win. And I'll spare you the London buses analogy, but our Slovenian forward couldn't have picked a better time to get his first goals for the club, with this win lifting QPR off at the bottom of the table and to within 2 points of safety. Now, full disclosure, I didn't manage to catch this one live from my holiday, but have spent time soaking in the extended highlights and the various match reports to put together this reaction. So if you do have any thoughts yourselves having watched this match, then I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. It doesn't sound like this one was the most amazing performance from QPR, but it's one where with Celar getting his first goals and the 3 points lifting us from the bottom of the table, the result matters much more. I'll be travelling home at the time that this one goes out, so this will also include a short match preview for Watford on Saturday at the end of the reaction, and then normal service will resume on the channel from the weekend. If you're new and you like what you see or hear, then please do like, subscribe, follow or drop a rating on the platform that you're checking in on. And let's get into it. For the first time in a long time, Martí Cifuentes named an unchanged starting 11, and it would have been an almost identical bench too had Alfie Lloyd not picked up a minor knock on Monday in training, which led to Ryan Colley taking his place as a substitute. The first chance of the game came just 13 seconds into the match, with Celar passing the ball back to Nardi, as appears to be our trademark kick-off tactic this season. Nardi pumped the ball long and Field picked up the loose ball and passed first time for Paul Smith to be alone in the box, but his shot was dealt with at the near post. Tanner was up next for Cardiff, but Harrison Ashby was able to block the ball with his body for a corner, and Perry almost rifled the ball into the back of the net following some chaotic defending, but Nardi made the first of a number of very impressive stops with his face. Callum Robinson was even free to stab in the rebound, but he was caught completely wrong-footed to do so. Rangers' next chance came from Harrison Ashby on 7 minutes when Steve Cook played a neat ball through the middle to Koki Saito. He broke and charged forward and picked out Harrison Ashby on the left, but he was closed well and his shot didn't threaten. And from here until QPR's 40th minute opener, we had very little of the ball because we just couldn't stop giving it away. Multiple times Cardiff were able to break through with ease, with Callum O'Dowda and Joe Rawls both having 2 shots each in the next half an hour. Žan Celar especially was a particular culprit for giving the ball away. With 21 touches throughout the match, he had the least of any starting QPR player, with just 2 in the opposition box in the entire match, and with his first few touches he couldn't do anything but spill it to a Cardiff player. And so that makes it simultaneously bewildering and delightful that it would be in this match that he would finally open his goal scoring account for QPR, and what a way to do it. One of our many long throwers, Paul Smith, launched the ball into the box and Jimmy Dunn flicked it on into the centre. Celar caught the ball on the half volley with his back turned to goal, scooped it round and then dinked it into the top right corner, all without even looking at the net. That is a goal that he desperately needed, his team desperately needed, Cifuentes desperately needed, and we as fans desperately needed, and credit where credit is due because it is an absolutely exceptional finish. You could see what it meant to him and this entire team and the subs because they were all up celebrating and around Celar, and I'm so pleased that the 600 or so travelling QPR fans got to experience a moment like that after the season that we have had. Outside of the obvious confidence that it should go on to give him and did go on to give him later in this match, the technique of this goal shows that there is a striker hiding within. We just need to work out how to exploit it more. So for the first time, QPR headed into the break with the lead. Now they just needed to work out how to preserve it. Just like the first half, it was Paul Smith taking QPR's first chance of the second, hitting a poor clearance from Gutas on the half volley, but Alnwick was there to produce a big save. Joe Rawls threatened again for Cardiff on 64 minutes after some more chaotic QPR defending, but Paul Nardi was there to block his long-range effort, and an even better block followed just a minute later when Nardi denied Callum Robinson's header from just 6 yards out. Our first change of the game came on 67 minutes when Powell replaced Paul Smith, and Chris Willock was now on for the home side in search of an equaliser. A further 2 R's changes followed on 18 minutes with Fox and Anderson replacing Madsen and Morrison, and despite some 16 shots from Cardiff in the second half, QPR held resolute, with Nardi finding time for yet another huge stop when Callum Robinson volleyed O'Dowda's cross from the left. And then in the 91st minute, with Cardiff's final attempt at attacking, something beautiful happened. It started with Chris Willock charging down the left and cutting in, as we used to see him do all the time for QPR, but Sam Field was there to deny him as he shaped up to shoot, leaving Harrison Ashby free to pump the ball long up to Žan Celar. And when Chambers' attempted header went wrong, Celar was suddenly free and in on goal with only the goalkeeper to beat. And out of nowhere, a striker who was yet to net for QPR before this match, one that missed a penalty and couldn't even get it on target just 4 days prior, was suddenly cheekily chipping the goalkeeper. It's totally ridiculous, and I honestly can't decide which of those finishes I like more. They were both excellent. So just like that, QPR found themselves with 3 more points on the board when they really needed them. It wasn't pretty, and there were clearly plenty of problems still with this performance, but it really does not matter. This one was all about the result. And most importantly, our only fit striker has finally found the net twice. I'm not sure I totally agree with the revisionism of we owe Celar an apology. I think he has been poor up to this point this season. The fans were right to acknowledge that at the time, and now he's produced 2 excellent goals. He rightly deserves his flowers as well. As I said earlier, the most important thing is that we can see from the technique from both goals that there is a player there. Marty and this team's job now is to work out how that can be exposed more often. I personally still think it's probably going to be with a strike partner next to him. He doesn't have that many touches. He's not going to do the hold-up play, but he has got the finish if someone can get the ball to him. Nardi obviously was a deserved man of the match with his stops. They were just as important as Celar's goals. Though I also want to call out Liam Morrison, because since coming into this team over the past 2 games, having returned from injury, he has not looked out of place at all. I was very impressed with him in the League Cup earlier this season, and I think we have quietly picked up another very good ball-playing centre-back. And while neither of the team's performances over the past 2 games have been perfect, it's no coincidence that now we have another ball-playing centre-back like Jake Clark-Selwer in the starting lineup. We've started to pick up more points. And hopefully at just 21 years old, there will be plenty more growth to come from Morrison. Cifuentes was of course spot on in his post-match, acknowledging the fact that 1 win won't change very much. Though I thought it was interesting that he also used the opportunity to say that we need to improve, and I keep repeating, the club needs to understand that there are some things that we need to improve as a club that I've been saying since the summer, and so far we have not improved those areas. I suspect he's been wanting to say something like that publicly for a little while, but I just find it interesting that he's waited for this opportunity to do so. And his words of caution in terms of performances after this win are very valid ahead of a trip to Watford on Saturday, with Tom Cleverley's side flying high in 5th place with 9 wins, 2 draws and 6 losses so far this season. The Hornets have won 4 and lost just 1 of their past 6 games, winning their Tuesday night home clash against Bristol City with Ryan Andrews finished their sole shot on target, a result that preserved an unbeaten home run for Tom Cleverley since he became manager back in March this year. QPR's defence will need to be in fine form on Saturday though, with Watford having scored the 4th most goals in the league this season, with Akun Bio leading with 7, though 4 of those did come in a 6-2 away hammering of Sheffield Wednesday, while Edo Kiyembe sits just behind on 5. Interestingly, having conceded 24 goals this season, Watford only have a goal difference of 2, which is significantly less than the teams above them, and have kept just 1 more clean sheet than Rangers, though all 4 of those have come at Vicarage Road, and with QPR having scored the joint least goals in the league, they probably won't be fearful of shipping many to the R's on Saturday. But with that said, we do now possess a goal scoring machine, and after Cardiff I'm pretty sure he won't ever not score again. So as usual, let's round off with a score prediction. I did get a win right for Cardiff. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for this one, which I think with Watford's form and their home record under Cleverley would be a good result. I just hope we can keep it tight and build on Wednesday night. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for checking in for this match reaction. Do let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this, you're not already a subscriber or a follower, then please do so on the platform of your choice, and I'll hopefully see you in my next match reaction. Cheers!